How can you achieve a state of stillness and effortlessness, and at the same time be tuned in and connected fully to the moment? This is something we look to achieve in our Yin Yoga practice and our meditation. And today I'm going to take you through a specific meditation that allowed me to be able to really develop that ability. So this is a meditation that was passed on to me in a peaceful little temple right in the center of busy Bangkok by some very beautiful Buddhist monks, and it's a traditional Vipassana meditation. This is suitable for beginners, and I'm going to be guiding you through everything, so it'll be nice and easy. So what we're going to do is use the breath as a central point, as an anchor to come back to again and again. And we're going to connect with the breath fully and begin to note the breath. Once I've got you there, I'm going to ask you to start to note the other things that come into your experience. So it might be an itch or a sound, it might be thinking. And when you notice these other details coming into your moment, I'm going to guide you then to start to note those, take those details in, drop them, and then return back to your breath, that central anchor. What this allows us to do is to be able to become very, very present to the moment. Vipassana actually means insight into reality. There is an alertness and awareness that we develop here, an ability to be very tuned into the moment. But as always, I'm going to guide you into doing that in a way that isn't tense, it's not concentration, it's an effortless resting. And in that we begin to feel a sense of spaciousness, stillness, and effortlessness. So find your meditation position, whether that's seated, laying, or partial laying. Maybe sit onto a chair or a cushion, and we will begin. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall, long spine without tension. Shoulders are soft and the hands relax onto the knees or into the lap, depending on what's more comfortable for you. Allowing the eyes to close and allowing the breath to come and go through the nose if you can. We'll begin with 3 long, deep breaths together. So in through the nose, let that belly expand, let the chest expand after. And out through the nose, nice and slow and steady, all the way down to the very end. And again, in your own time, deep inhale. And exhale. And without rushing, we come into the 3rd deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Now relax back to a soft breath, so there's no forcing. Relax the belly, relax the chest, the lungs. And let the breath come and go through the nose if you can. Soften the muscles in the face, around the eyes, into the jaw, the tongue, the throat. Allow the shoulders to relax. Allow the hands to just be placed softly rather than tensing or pushing. And just take a few moments here to release and soften any tension or rigidity from the body that doesn't need to be there. And becoming very aware of the feeling of your own body. Letting your mind rest in that as you observe your body, and when we go to observe the breath in a moment, your mind knows that it doesn't need to add anything. It doesn't need to comment, label, judge, or analyze. So just very simply taking in the sensation, the experience of the feeling of the body. Notice that at the center of this body of yours is a breath. And the breath is an expanding, a drawing in, and then a contraction, a falling, a collapsing as we release. Start to notice the feeling of the breath moving through the nose. So that simple but subtle sensation of air moving through the nostrils. Tune in and take in this detail, this sensation, without needing to make any mental effort. We are just simply taking it in. Notice the sound of the breath. Notice the cooler air that enters the nose. And then the subtle change as it's warm, as it leaves the body. Try to really settle and rest your attention at the nose without dipping into trying hard or concentration. Just resting your awareness at the nose, like there's nowhere else to be. And now bring your attention down to your belly and your chest. Notice the movement there. You don't need to change or affect your breath in any way. Just observe, just take in how you are breathing right now. Feel the chest expand, forwards, backwards and side to side. And feel the belly just gently rise and fall. So we're going to keep our attention at the belly. And if it helps you, you can bring one hand to rest onto the belly and bring your attention to the space between the belly and the palm. Begin to note your breath, using the word rising, falling, rising, falling. So you are noting your breath internally, and there is 80% of your awareness rested with the feeling of the breath coming and going at the belly, the sensation of breathing. And the noting just becomes like a 20% focus in the background. You're just giving your mind something to do. So rising, falling. Be very aware of the belly. Really very attuned, very alert to everything that you can feel there as you breathe. So we are not concentrating, we're not trying hard, trying really hard to focus and stay focused. We are just resting our attention at the belly, noting the breath. And as I said a moment ago, it's as if your attention just has nowhere else it needs to be. At the same time, we're very alert, very aware. There's a wakefulness to what we're doing. Now, each time that you wander off, there needs to be a commitment to return to the breath at the belly, to return to the noting. And what we're going to do now is, when we do become distracted by something, we're going to note it. So it could be a sensation in the body, an ache, an itch. In that case, you just know aching or itching. If it's the mind, if it's thinking that comes in, thoughts that distract us, as soon as you become aware of that, just note thinking and then return to the breath at the belly. If you hear a noise, you can note hearing. So whatever crops up in your moment, it doesn't matter what words you use, just note what it is. And you're going to note 3 times. So we're not rushing, we're not rejecting that detail, we're taking that detail in as we note it 3 times. And then we drop it, we release it, and we return back to the breath in the belly, noting rising, falling. So we need an alertness now to notice and spot the little details that come in and distract us from our breath. To remember whatever details come up for you, you are not rejecting them, just taking them in, noting them, and then coming back to your breath. Do not worry if you are only with your breath for a moment before something else comes in. As long as you keep coming back to that breath after, you'll be fine. If you ever get lost, just return to noting the breath. And return to this practice. Your body is becoming tense, soften. This means you're trying too hard internally. But if your body is becoming hunched, relaxed, if you're drifting off, you're relaxing too much, sit up a little taller. Bring back in your alertness, your awakeness. Find that balance between effortless and soft, alert and attentive. Remember, this is a practice. Don't worry if it's bumpy and imperfect. You are doing well. Releasing, noting of the breath, noting of the details, and just let your mind wander to wherever it wants to go. But as it goes there, as your attention goes to other things, be aware of where you go to, watch and notice. Maybe your mind doesn't go anywhere, maybe it wants to rest with the breath now. No right or wrong, just watch what happens. We're going to sit up a little taller and just start to wriggle the hands and toes. Maybe take a deep breath. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes, keeping the gaze down low. And slowly bringing yourself back into the room. So please do not worry if that was really bumpy and imperfect. That is the way meditation goes. At the beginning especially, but even when you're years into your practice, you get days like that. And the really important thing there to do is to be loving and encouraging in those moments towards yourself. That's the most important thing. And see if you can allow things to be imperfect. So I'd really love it if you struggled with anything there, or if you have any questions, or if you found anything that you think might be helpful for other people, please share your experience down below, and in that way our comment section can become a resource for all of us too. And I always check into those regularly and answer any questions that you might have. Now this is a meditation that will absolutely help you in your Yin Yoga practice, and I teach Yin in this kind of way. So if you want to try that out, if you want to combine what we just did with a lovely, restorative, relaxing Yin practice, then check out my Yin Yoga classes on my channel. If you enjoyed that, hit the like button, and if you'd like to hear more from me and keep up to date with my content and classes, hit the subscribe button, and if you hit the little bell, that way you'll be notified each week when my content goes live.